Hey everyone, it's your girl Layla. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a story time. This one took place back in 2013. I feel like all of the story times that I've been telling on my channel have been kind of around the same time because I feel like this time in my life, just a lot of weird stuff went on. Odd and unusual things that don't normally happen to me. So I don't have a lot of like current story times, but I can tell you story times from back then. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the time that I got ghosted. If you guys are not already subscribed, please go ahead, click the subscribe button below. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if I show my hands at any point in this video, I am so sorry about my nails. They look like crap right now. They're so grown out, but I'm getting them done this afternoon. I'm meeting up with my friend after I film this video, so they'll be all nice for next video when I do like close-ups of things. I was gonna do a review video today, but I'm like, there is no way I'm gonna be showing you guys my nails up close right now. So like I said, this took place back in 2013. The main character in the story that isn't me, I'm gonna call him, let's call him Kevin. Let's call him Kevin, like the minion Kevin. See, I don't know how I come up with the names in my story time. They are so random every single time. I always have to relate it to something. I just thought of Kevin the minion today, so that's what I'm gonna be calling him for this video. So back in 2013, 2 of my friends and I went on this dating app. Like we all signed up together. We were all like, oh, we're gonna find someone this year. All 3 of us are gonna find someone this year. Blah blah blah, this is gonna be our year, let's do this together. I basically downloaded this app called okcupid. I also, like a couple months prior, tried this dating app called Badoo. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. I don't even know if that one still exists, but it was just weird. It had a lot of like weird creepy guys on it, and I did not like that app at all. So my friends and I decided to download okcupid. So we tried that app and I matched with this guy named Kevin. I do have a previous story about him if you guys want to know a little bit more in depth about our first date and all of that stuff. I have a story time on that. I will leave it in the pinned comment down below. So basically Kevin and I matched. We met on our first date, which was a double date with my friend and her blind date. This was not a good idea. This was not a good setup at all, but I was really nervous because it was like my first date. So I was really nervous and my friend was meeting somebody on the same day, so we decided, hey, you know what? Let's all meet up together. That was awkward. AF, that was awkward. And at this point in time, I also was very cautious. I didn't really trust people. I didn't want people picking me up at my house. I didn't want my mom knowing I was going out. This being a double date is basically the best option I have because he doesn't have to come pick me up at my house. I don't have to tell him where I live. On the first date, I didn't drive at this point in time. I got my license like literally a month after this. So at this point in time, I didn't drive. I didn't want him to know where I live. It's kind of dangerous, okay? If you're meeting somebody online for the first time, really shouldn't be telling them where you live. So at least I was smart enough to know that. It was nice between me and him, like we clicked, but as far as the double date concept went, it didn't go too well because my best friend's date was just super awkward, super quiet, didn't want to talk to us, and I'm just like, is this how blind dates are? Are you not supposed to talk to the other person's date? Like, me, Kevin, and my best friend were all talking, and then the other guy was just being really quiet in the corner. If you guys want the full tea on that date, I will leave that story time in the pinned comment below if you guys want to check that out. But basically, yeah, our first date sucked, but me and Kevin really liked each other. So we started pretty much dating. We started going out every single week whenever we could, whenever I had days off, whenever he had days off. We'd seriously go on a date from like 6 p.m. until the next morning, like 6 a.m. the next morning. He would drop me off at my house at 6 a.m. I watched my first sunrise with him. Like, it was really good at first. On one of our dates in particular, he was like, I'm going to delete the okcupid app, and I really hope you do the same because I don't need to look for any more girls. I really like you, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, I really like you too. I'm not talking to anybody else. I'm not going out with anybody else. You literally take up all my time, because days when I'd be at work, days when I wouldn't be available, we would be texting all day long. I get those like good morning, good night texts from him. We'd be hanging out all the time, and like I said, our dates would be literally 12 hours long. Like, I'd meet up with him for dinner and we'd hang out, just talk the whole night. And it wasn't like that, okay? It was me and him talking literally the whole night and just like connecting and getting to know each other and stuff like that, and it was really good. So yeah, he was like, I'm gonna delete the app, I hope you do the same. And I said, yes, I'm gonna delete it right now. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna delete it right now too. So we both deleted the app together, and I'm like, this is going really, really well. He never made the move as in like asking me to be his girlfriend. So as far as this goes, I felt like it was going really well. Because basically we both deleted the app together, and I was like, okay, it's only a matter of time before he makes it official. He gave me all of the signs that it was leading towards that. We were both not talking to anybody else. We both deleted the dating app. I was like, okay, this is good. But he never made it official, and I was always wondering why that was. Like, I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. So yeah, we were still really close. We were still hanging out all the time, and then I started noticing some red flags. So the first red flag was basically he went away for a weekend with his family. He told me he was going to Edmonton. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Are you able to do me a favor? I really wanted this Lorac eyeshadow palette from Sephora, and at the time Sephora actually carried Lorac. They don't anymore. Back then, certain Sephoras carried it, and the one in Edmonton had it, but the one in Calgary didn't. So I basically asked him to do me a favor, get the Lorac palette, and I would e-transfer him money. He basically said no because he didn't want his parents to know he was talking to anybody. He didn't want his parents to know that he was dating or talking to a girl. So I found that kind of odd because he has siblings, like he has sisters too. And I thought that it was just like such a small request, and I was like, okay, if you're really with your family, that's kind of weird. Maybe he really was with his family, I have no idea, but I found that kind of weird, and I just kind of brushed it off. I was like, okay, whatever. And then as time goes on, we're still dating, we're still talking, he's still not made it official, and then our conversations start to drop a little bit. Like, he doesn't talk to me as much anymore. I feel like he's not texting me all day every day. It kind of just starts off slowly. Like, I start to notice like, oh, today he didn't text me good morning. Oh, like he didn't text me for, you know, like 5 hours out of the day or whatever, you know. It just started like that. It started tapering off, and it wasn't like we were talking all the time, and I would start seeing him less and less and less. And he always made excuses for it. He was always like, oh, I'm really busy with work, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I'm doing that. I would actually visit him at work a couple times, and I noticed another red flag. So the next red flag was that he didn't want to be tagged in any photos with me. So he didn't want me to tag him in any pictures that I was uploading onto Facebook of our dates, etc. Like, we'd take some pictures together, we'd take some selfies together, and he just never wanted to be tagged because of different reasons. It was either, you know, his family. He didn't want his mom knowing. He didn't want other people in his family seeing pictures of us together because they would assume things. And at that point in time, like I said, we weren't officially dating, even though we were exclusively dating each other supposedly. But yeah, we weren't officially boyfriend girlfriend, so he didn't want anybody else seeing that we had photos tagged together. So that was another red flag that I chose to ignore. So one day I was actually creeping his page on Facebook, and I actually noticed this girl was on his wall saying, oh, thank you for yesterday, I had such a good time, blah 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 blah. And there was multiple of her posts on his wall, and they were all like kind of the same thing, like, thank you, I had the best time yesterday, blah blah blah. And that was red flag number 3 that I chose to ignore, because I was like, well, he deleted the app, he's not talking to anybody else, he doesn't want me to talk to anyone else. Like, maybe I'm just reading too much into it. Maybe it's just his friend, whatever. I made excuses for him all the time like that as to why certain things were the way they were. So fast forward, I don't think I saw him for an entire month. And keep in mind, we were seeing each other at least 4 times a week, spending so much time together. And then it kind of started to taper off. And then at one point, we never saw each other for a whole month. So we went out together, and then he basically said that he was starting school the next month after, and that we wouldn't be able to talk or see each other as much anymore, which I was very confused because it was already like that. I would barely see him. We would barely talk to each other. Like, he would text me maybe 3 times a day, just like, hey, what's up? He'd answer me when I would say something, and then he wouldn't reply for like a day or something. Like, it was just really odd and weird, and I never really knew what happens. He just made excuses for himself, like, oh, I'm so busy, blah blah blah. It's September goes by. Like I said, he went back to school supposedly, and we weren't talking as much still. We weren't seeing each other at all. It had been like a whole month since we'd seen each other, and you know, he would always say, oh yeah, I'm so busy with school, I have so much homework, blah blah blah. And in October, it's my birthday, so I invited him to my birthday. He was supposed to come from work to my birthday, meet me in downtown with my friends, and we were supposed to, you know, smoke shisha, go out for dinner, go out for wings, and go for a drive. We were supposed to have just like a really chill day. Red flag number 4. So he was acting super strange, like, oh, I'm gonna try my best to come to your birthday, like, I'm gonna try my best. And I'm like, well, you're not really doing anything. My birthday's on a long weekend, if you guys didn't know, so there's no school on the Monday. So as the night goes on, he basically completely ghosts me on my birthday. Just completely ignores me. I think the last message that he sent me was saying that he was coming to my birthday, like he's on his way, and then he just never showed up. I was obviously really mad the next day, and I actually never saw him for a whole month after that until it was his birthday. Then we actually went out for brunch, I think. Yeah, we went on like a brunch date, and then he had to buy some shoes, so we went shopping. But that was the last time I ever saw him, and I didn't know what exactly happened because, like I said, we were getting along so well. Every time we would meet each other, even after it's been a full month since we've seen each other, it would just go back to the way it was before. You guys know what I mean? Like, it would feel the same way. The conversations were just really easy. He was somebody I felt really comfortable talking to and everything. So I just was like, okay, I don't understand what is going on. Basically, after our brunch date on his birthday, he ended up ghosting me. He ghosted me. So you guys know how I was saying we talk like literally 24 hours a day pretty much. It went to like less to where I was talking to him like maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks he'd say hi or something like that. And then it was just done. He would stop talking to me completely, and I always wanted to know why, but I feel like I know the reason why. When he said he was deleting the app and I was the only person he was talking to, I was clearly not the only person he was talking to. It was multiple other people that he was talking to at the same time, and that's why he never made time for me anymore. But he made time for other people because clearly his wall post on Facebook said so. I was just super mad at myself for ignoring all of those red flags from the beginning. But I genuinely was really sad about it because I felt like him and I really had a connection, and I didn't understand why things went the way they did. I never got an explanation. Yeah, that is it for my story time. I have definitely more of these rejection / getting ghosted story times. Maybe guys back then were just not mature enough to tell me their true feelings about me. But yeah, that is pretty much it for my story time. I hope this was somewhat entertaining for you. I know it wasn't like a crazy story time, but it's one of those things where I feel like a lot of people don't talk about. I feel like a lot of people have been ghosted. I feel like this is something that's very common, especially in millennials. This whole generation that I'm a part of, I feel like ghosting is just so normal, and it just happens so often. It happens to a lot of people. I've seen it done. I've seen my friends do it to other people. I've definitely done it one time because I really didn't like the guy, and I probably should have just told him how I felt. But yeah, I've definitely been ghosted. I've definitely ghosted people. I've definitely seen it happen. and we just need to stop ghosting people. Like, we really do. There's a whole MTV show on people getting ghosted. And yeah, situations like this happen a lot and it's so common. So if this happened to you, you're not alone. This happens to the best of us, the worst of us. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.